take back the lead, hopefully kind of put some distance between us. We fumble again, giving up another field goal. So we have a 13-point swing, and that's the inconsistency I talk about, because as mad as fans want to get at the refs, and I'm not saying that's not justifiable or that I'm defending the refs, but I've said this for forever. If the game ever comes down to where the refs can make the call based on a missed or bad call or no call, your team lost it. It's your fault, not the refs' fault. It's the Saints' fault that they had 4 turnovers and had a 17-10 lead driving to score and put the game away. They didn't play good football. Yes, Denver's got a great defense. Don't knock that. I mean, they hit hard. They knew how to target the ball, and they got it out. Fine. I'm not blaming the rookie or saying crucify him and bench him. I'm simply saying that the Saints haven't played smart football, or they'll let fundamentals get away from them. I mean, and we even saw it with Mark Ingram. I mean, Mark Ingram is not a fumble running back. He's had 5 lost fumbles his entire career, yet it's come at such a pivotal time where it's like the team has mental lapses, and that's what worries me. Drew Brees, I mean, that first interception, total mental lapse. Should not have made that throw. The second one, you can argue, incredible play by defense. It's just a really good team. But it's little stuff like that that the team didn't do in 2009 and 2011 that led them to be so successful. I mean, Saints fans are so quick to jump on the, we're only 2 plays away from being, 6-3, or we're only 3 plays or such and such game away from having 7 wins. And while that's true, all that ends up mattering, and in 20 years, all you'll look back and see and probably not remember is the fact that the Saints right now are 4-5, and we'll see where they go. But all that matters is what ends up on the scoreboard at the end of the game, and a consistent, strong team wins almost all these games that are close for us. Instead, it's a coin flip every day, man. I mean, who predicts that the Denver Broncos win on a 2-point run back? Nobody predicts that. I mean, and I think there's some bad coaching calls. I still want to know why Lutz is the one kicking the onside kick there. It's not like it was a surprise. Everybody knows the onside kick is coming to try to get the ball back after you gave up a return for 2 points. Why Morstead not out there pulling the same ambush kick that he did so well 2009, I don't know. But, I mean, that's why I'll harp on the consistency thing. I realize that there's other valid points, and I'm not saying that the refs haven't cost us games. There was definitely some pass interference calls. We've gone over this that should have been called and some that shouldn't have been called, all kinds of stuff. But if you're at the point in a game where it can be decided by the refs, that's your fault as a team for letting it get there.
Here's the problem that I have. It comes to whether or not the refs are factoring. And as you said, it shouldn't have come down to that. But I really feel like the biggest problem with it is the game plan was flawed in general. I made a tweet prior to in which I said the minute Sean Payton found out Akeem Talib would not be in that game, he made up his mind he was throwing the ball 50 times a game. And I feel like that was the biggest flaw. Denver's run defense and their linebackers have shown they can't cover on the flat and they can't stop the run. Why run the ball more? It's almost as if Sean Payton, I don't want to call it a mental lapse. I'm just going to call it what it is. It's ego. My ego says my quarterback is going to throw the ball on your Super Bowl winning defense because I want everybody to be able to say, Sean Payton defense destroyed the Broncos defense. Atlanta not too long ago, but Atlanta had a smart game plan. They ran the ball a lot. They loosened up Denver's defense. They made Denver's linebackers cover the entire field and not just come straight down, straight ahead to the quarterback. And I have a Sean Payton and not Sean Payton in general, because he didn't call the game. Pete Carmichael did, and I think that's one of the things that saved the Saints, actually. But it's the idea that the game plan called for so little contributions from the run game, and I have a problem with that when Denver Broncos are giving up 4.4 yards per carry. I mean, you could have fell forward for 2 first downs against Denver. They weren't even concerned about the run game. They had it all in their heads. They were going to pin their hands back and come after Drew Brees. I have a problem with that, and I think it would have slowed down that pass rush and gave Drew more time, and some of those turnovers maybe don't happen. I totally have an issue with that.
Well, I mean, it's because Mark Ingram was averaging 4.5 yards a carry. He only had 11 carries, 50 yards. Hightower didn't seem to find any room. He went 8 carries for 21 yards at 2.6 yards a carry. But Ingram was obviously having success. He rattled off multiple 5-yard and had one 10-yard run. So, I mean, he was finding some room, but they just kind of abandoned it. I get that they went down the first half pretty early because of those interceptions, but like you said, you're at home. Denver's struggle all year long has been the run. The best way to stop people like Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware coming around the edge is to run straight up the middle past them. And we just didn't do enough. I mean, we did run 21 times, but honestly, that's a game I expect us to run more like 25, 30 times like we did already this year with success. You know what I mean?
I agree with you on that, man. It was there for the taking, and it's allowed the game to slip through the hands. There's some bad play calling, and like I said, it's just an egotistical game plan. It was set in stone. Sean Payton to throw the ball. Drew Brees, on the other hand, he's forcing passes, and I think sometimes Drew starts to develop tunnel vision when he gets a new toy. Jimmy Graham was a toy at one time. He consistently would go to Graham. Triple coverage, quadruple, didn't matter. He was going to Jimmy no matter what. And I think he's starting to develop that same thing with Michael Thomas. When Drew's spreading the ball around, and as we think, Brandon Cooks is still the best receiver on this team. Thomas has star potential, but Brandon Cooks is still the best receiver. Drew has to spread it around. I don't think he really did a great job of that early in the game.
I mean, I'm not too upset with, the targeting Thomas. Thomas is, I said they're two different types of player. I mean, Cooks is definitely the more athletic, splashy type receiver, and only he can make that touchdown pass that he caught. I mean, stuff like that only a player of his caliber can do. So I've already harped so much, or not harp's not even the right word. I've already boasted really of how great our receivers are this year. So I get the draw to the passing game, but it's like you said, I mean, we can get too locked on at times and it gets pretty predictable. And I honestly think that the locking on has been more on Michael Thomas this year in terms of too much. I mean, both him and Cooks have gotten about the exact same amount of targets. And we've seen how it's been used to our advantage. The Willie Snead touchdown, I can't remember if it was the first or second one, where he was just wide open because 3 Denver Broncos focused on Cooks, and they just let Willie Snead walk into the corner and got an easy touchdown, stuff like that. I mean, it works to our advantage, but we just don't hit on it enough. We're too predictable in terms of where we're going or how we're trying to make a play happen. We're trying to force it to Michael Thomas because he's the big body, or instead of doing dumping it down, or heck, even Drew Brees running sometimes. He's mobile enough. He could get 3 or 4 yards if we had to. It's just, I don't know. It seems like the Saints will have exactly the right game plan for 10 plays in a row, 2 or 3 drives in a row, and then they'll just go insane and start doing stuff that makes no sense before they return to what was working. And it's like they do it on purpose, like they want to outsmart themselves. And that's the only way I can describe it.
That's exactly the way I feel. The issue now is that you have a team that you're facing this weekend. You can't pull that stunt. You can't try to outsmart Carolina. They've seen these plays too many times. They know the personnel. They know exactly what to expect from the Saints. And now you have to go in their building. Carolina, for all the pain and hurt and they actually made a hell of in the game. Carolina just got whatever. Oh my God, the Saints beat us. Never mind, time to go home. It was never that. Carolina fought back in that game, and now you get them in there. And
yeah, you kind of go in and out on me, man, but I got what you were saying towards the end, and I feel you. I think that you have to face a Carolina game where you beat them at their own game. You got to punch them in the mouth with the run game, play a little dink and dunk, and then hit them over the top, and just don't let their offense have the field. I mean, if we could get 35 minutes of the time possession, that'd be great. I think we definitely win if we're able to control it like that. It's just such a big question because it seems like Carolina has got the mentality of a fighter that we don't necessarily have all the time. I think our young guys want to win. I don't think any of them have this passion where they're not playing 100%, but it's just like at times their morale gets so low and they feel like it's done, it's over. I mean, we can't do it. And I felt that way during the San Diego game. If it wasn't for San Diego literally giving us the game, I had a feeling. I know this wasn't every player, but it was like the team they had given up to the point where we realized we're going to lose. And teams like we're talking about Carolina don't have that. I mean, they fight to the bitter end, and they did against us. And that's what worries me going to Carolina is not the players necessarily, but the mentality. Will we be as mentally tough as they will be on their home field? And can we come away with a win against that? Looks like my brother got dropped out of the call. It's fine. I'm still here. See if he calls back. And just to check and see if anybody on Twitter has sent a message. I know we're not live streaming at the moment, but everybody who's listening to this podcast, just a quick shout out. Make sure you check out Saints News. I mean, I know you're obviously listening to us now since you're checking out the podcast, but it's not just Dat Confessional. We've got more shows. We've got the professor who speaks on Friday nights. We got a Wednesday night show. We've got Sunday, during the games, between the games, halftime reports. We try to cover just about everything. So make sure you're checking us out, and also our friends over at the Canal Street Chronicles. We recommend you check out ESPN My Triplet, Nick Underhill at The Advocate. Those two are our top favorite writers, period. I don't really read or trust anybody besides Tripp and Underhill. To me, they're the best. No offense to some of the others. They're just my personal favorites. I enjoy their style and the information that they provide. So let's see if Bryan is able to come back. If not, we'll cut it a bit short. That's fine. He had to leave at 8 anyway, and it's 7:45 at this time. And I've also got some I'll be telling you guys a little later, but I got some big news on the personal side that I'm pretty excited about. We will let you guys know about that at a later time. And if he's not able to come back, then we'll just cut it for the night. I'll give you my prediction, which I think Saints fans will enjoy this time around. And then we will end it with a night and then see you guys next Tuesday. So I will give Bryan just a little bit more. I will cover real quick a couple of things that I want to cover in terms of stat-wise for the Saints. And that is where we're at this year. So far, Drew Brees is right under 3,000 yards passing at 2,992 yards, 69.9 completion percentage, right under 70, 24 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He is still on pace to go over 40 touchdowns. And his interception percentage at 1.9 is on pace to be a career low, to tie as a career low, which I think is phenomenal. He's just been on point. In the rushing game, we got Mark Ingram leading the way. He's got 547 yards at a 4.8 yard per carry average, followed by Tim Hightower, 76 for 297. That's a 3.9 average. And then receivers, man, they have been lights out. Cooks, 694 yards, 6 touchdowns. That's a 15.8 average. And then Michael Thomas, 613 yards, 5 TDs for a rookie. Those guys have been phenomenal. And definitely, if you're doing your Pro Bowl voting, don't forget these two guys on defense. Cameron Jordan, Nick Fairley. Cam Jordan's got 4 sacks. Fairley's got 4.5. You'll miss a lot of the stats because how the defense has been injured. The play hasn't been where you want it to be this year. They deserve to be in the Pro Bowl. You'd be hard-pressed to find 2 or 3 better 3-tech defensive tackles in the NFL this year than Nick Fairley. I don't know if he'll make it to the to the Pro Bowl, but he certainly deserves it. I mean, he's had a phenomenal season. Keenan Vaccaro's had a great season. You know, he's really stepped up for a secondary that's either been injured or non-existent. So I just want to throw those out there just to kind of give you guys an upswing on where we're headed, how good we're doing, where we're going. Guys like Craig Robertson doing swell this season, 81 tackles. That's a great number. When he was on the outside, he was actually leading the NFL, moved inside to help the team. And his numbers have gone down a little bit, but he's still performing very well. So it looks like Bryan has gotten cut off. So we're just going to